Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. We have a great show for you today. My name is Matthew. I'm joined by my colleague, Christina, and we're thrilled to be here and excited to share the latest enhancements to Scoir Admission Intelligence. Before we dive in, I want to take a moment to thank you for your incredible feedback and engagement since the first release. From sharing your frustrations to celebrating your successes, your input has been invaluable in shaping the enhancements we're unveiling today. It's truly a testament to the power of this network and support of this community. So from all of us here at Scoir, thank you. So the purpose of today's session is twofold. First, we want to highlight the improvements we've made to Scoir AI, enhancement designed to bring greater accuracy and simplicity, while also offering more configurability to fit your unique workflows. And second, we aim to leave you with a deeper understanding of Scoir AI and how you can position it to your families to best support your college counseling efforts. So let's take a look at the agenda. After a brief overview of Scoir AI, we'll delve into the data models that power it in hopes to provide you a stronger understanding of the tools. After that, Christina will offer a detailed product walkthrough, and we'll wrap up with some Q&A. As we go through today's session, feel free to drop any questions into the chat. Our team is here and ready to assist, so don't hesitate to reach out if something is unclear. For those of you who may not yet be familiar, Scoir AI is an integrated set of tools and insights powered by machine learning to assist in building balanced college lists and demystify acceptance chances with personalized predictions, helping to inform and evaluate application strategies. We created Scoir AI in response to our customer and market feedback, and in support of a growing need to navigate the ever-changing landscape of college admissions. Most importantly, to provide you integrated solutions that fit seamlessly into the tools you're already using. But let me be clear, this is not meant to replace the work you do or to the experience you bring to the conversation. Rather, it's designed to complement your efforts, serving as a resource or data insight to fuel conversations and guide decision-making. Your role is central to the successful use of these tools, which is why we're here with you today. The first version of Scoir AI was introduced last fall, a soft launch bringing these new capabilities to market to help us refine the model's experience and controls. We appreciate your engagement and look forward with excitement as you take full advantage of its use for the class of 2026 and beyond. The capabilities of Scoir AI are surfaced through two primary feature sets, all powered by our machine learning models. Personalized predictive chances, which are round-based predicted chances of acceptance based on each student's individual profile and the historic trends of that college. And the resulting balanced list scores, informed by those chances, the corresponding acceptance likelihood rating, and the makeup of the colleges on the student's college list. Christina will guide you through all of this shortly. Let's take a quick review of what's included in the latest update to Scoir AI. This version brings a number of enhancements with a focus on accuracy, simplicity, and configuration for use. Intelligent Match is simpler, smarter, and more accurate, no longer requiring evaluation or adjustment of assigned student match levels. You'll find it easier than ever to configure the tools to fit your workflows with improved settings to control the timing and visibility of list scores, acceptance likelihood levels, and predictive chances. And we're bringing significant improvements to machine learning models that power Scoir AI, resulting in improved and more accurate predictive chances. While many of you are still testing the waters with Scoir AI, we wanted to share a few words from your peers who dove in and successfully swam the deep end this past fall. I love the clarity and ability to set parameters for list balancing. We have used the grading feature with our current seniors to help them visualize a balanced list and also to guide difficult conversations with families who tend to insist on reach-heavy lists. We look forward to using it with our juniors as a building block. Scoir AI has been incredibly helpful, especially with a larger upcoming junior class and less time available for individualized list building. The timing couldn't have been better. Rather than manually inputting matches, Scoir AI automates the process seamlessly. I also appreciate the new feature that shows students their chances and percentages for regular decision versus early action and early decision. This tool provides valuable guidance on which application type to choose and helps students stay on top of their deadlines. I absolutely love the percentages, chances, and predictability for both seniors and underclassmen. It really allows students and counselors to discuss the real chances of getting into a school. We love hearing these stories. To all of those who shared, thank you. As promised, we'd like to offer a review of the models that drive Scoir AI. Much of admission intelligence is powered by machine learning models. We found that offering a brief overview of our approach to machine learning and its benefits really helps in the understanding and application of these tools. So, what is machine learning? Well, in simple terms, machine learning is a method of teaching computers to recognize patterns and make predictions based on data. Unlike formulaic approaches, machine learning is dynamic. It continuously learns from new data. This ensures our predictions remain relevant as college admission trends evolve. It allows us to create individualized predictions tailored to specific colleges, resulting in a scalable and personalized system. Machine learning uncovers trends and relationships in data that would be challenging to identify manually. To clarify, this is not the same as the large language models like ChatGPT. While they may grab headlines, machine learning has been quietly shaping our lives for years, from recommendations we see on Netflix to the navigation apps we use every day. So what information does Scoir use in these models? Our predictive models are powered by millions of de-identified, real application outcomes from the Scoir network, which includes nearly 50-50 distribution of public and independent schools from coast to coast. Machine learning specialty is finding trends and patterns in an array of factors. As such, our models are trained with a rich dataset, including both student and high school information. This includes student academic and demographic data, such as GPA, standardized test scores, first-generation status, and more. High school data, including school type, location, or historical admission trends. Now, it's important to note, the more complete and accurate this data is, the more thorough the training and the more precise our predictions can be. This is true not just for current students to receive accurate predictions, but for future students as well. We will continue to improve our models to include additional factors. Intended major or college, test optional choice, and a more robust measurement of course rigor are a few not yet covered by the model, but on our radar. Additionally, we continue to monitor the unique admission policies that significantly influence chances of admission. This is not just one model, but rather one model per college. Our models are as diverse as the colleges themselves. Currently, we're building individual models for approximately 1,500 institutions. This allows us to account for the unique trends and admission behaviors for each school. For example, Scoir supports round-based predictions for colleges that offer early action, early decision, or regular decision pathways. Each model undergoes rigorous testing to ensure it meets our quality standards. If a model doesn't perform to our standards, we simply won't publish it. Our models are getting an upgrade as well. The forthcoming models include a few significant improvements to how they handle certain factors, the first being smart date selection. We've heard from and spoken with many of you who have questioned how far back the data goes, highlighting concerns that older outcome data may not reflect more recent admission trends. Rather than approaching it from a formulaic fashion, we're training the model to evaluate which years of historical data are most predictive of the last complete application cycle. This allows each of the 1,500 models to evaluate the unique trends of each school and takes only those years that prove most predictive. We'll be introducing these adjustments and refining it over the next few months. We now exclude historical hooked outcomes, such as legacy or recruited athlete cases, from the training data. Including them could result in inflated predictions under certain conditions. While marking future applications as a hook won't change the predictive chances in real time, it helps refine the models for future applicants. In some cases, we noticed the model being overly sensitive or insensitive to certain high school trends, leading to higher than expected predictions for some schools. Thanks to your input, we've tightened these parameters, resulting in more stable consideration of an individual high school's admission trends. Now remember, predictive chances are not a replacement for scattergrams, but a complement. Together, they offer a holistic view of a student's admission chances. Do predictive chances consider individual high school trends? Yes. The models account for high school specific trends and performance. The models will evaluate high school performance as a factor in its predictions. As mentioned in the previous slide, the forthcoming updates will offer a more refined and stable consideration of individual high school trends. Do the predictive chances account for in-state versus out-of-state? Yes. Inherently, these models take geographic or state-based admission trends into account. Now, student location is a factor in the model, so it's not programmatic in-state versus out-of-state, but rather geographic trends identified within the models. Which historical years are included? What years are included will vary by model or college, but the most recent enhancement will only include relevant years for each model, those that prove to be most predictive of the previous year's application cycle. How often are major model updates released? We understand the desire for both accuracy and stability. Moving forward, our models will update annually each summer, incorporating outcomes data from the most recent application cycle in preparation for back-to-school season. Again, the richer and more complete the profiles and outcomes, the more accurate our predictions will be. We're frequently asked, how can we help? Your contribution to data and outcomes completion and feedback is extraordinarily important. We've incorporated a thumbs up, thumbs down feedback directly into the predictive chances panel. If you see something that smells right or wrong, let us know. And be sure to get all of those outcomes recorded and profiles complete. And with that, I'd like to turn it over to Christina, who will provide a product walkthrough and make sure you all leave here with the confidence to deploy and support Scoir AI at your school. Christina?
Hi, I'm Christina, a product education specialist at Scoir. So now that you have an overview of what Scoir AI is and how counselors are embracing it in their schools, let's put it into practice. As you've seen, Scoir AI is super flexible, giving you a couple of ways to use these tools at your high school depending on what works best for you. By design, Scoir AI is meant to empower you and empower students to access the same information in real time so you can have better conversations. We call this the happy path, and we'll walk through it first. Throughout, we'll point out settings that allow you to customize Scoir AI to better fit your counseling context. We also recognize that you may want to share this information with students in a more controlled manner. If you prefer to wait to share until you're sitting shoulder to shoulder with students, we support that too. We'll show you exactly what that looks like after we walk through the happy path. The choice is yours. Let's dive in. We'll start by heading over to our settings to enable automations and turn on visibility, allowing Scoir to do the work for us and students and parents to view insights in their experience. By default, these settings aren't enabled, but we want to maximize Scoir AI and take the happy path, so let's turn them on. First, we'll set intelligent match to yes and have Scoir automatically assign acceptance likelihood and enable rapid list scoring. We found some schools do this as early as freshman year to support early list exploration, while others delay until academic records are more matured. Next, we'll enable balanced list visibility and keep the suggested default of August to freshman year so students and parents access the same information as you do when it comes to list scores. We'll also enable balanced list scoring, keeping the suggested default of August of senior year in place because we only want the scores to consider colleges in the applying and applied stages once students begin their senior year, and not the ones they're following. Finally, we'll set visibility of predictive chances for students and their parents to yes, providing them access to these insights throughout Scoir. Even as I've walked through my settings for the happy path, you can see there's a lot more you can do to personalize these, and I promise we'll walk through customizing Scoir AI in more detail shortly. But for now, let's see what Scoir AI looks like when it's set up to empower students to access the same information as you in real time so you can have better conversations. All right, Now that you're all set up to use the easy path for Scoir AI, let's see it in action. From the dashboard, head over to the student roster. Here, you'll see the list score column showing each student's college list grade. This makes it easy to spot who may need extra support, and you can sort or filter the roster to focus on specific students. Now, some students will have scores, while others might show a question mark. A list score will only generate if two key conditions are met. First, the student must have colleges on their list, and at least one of those colleges must have an acceptance likelihood value assigned. Acceptance likelihood is the value assigned to each college on a student's list, reflecting how competitive it might be for that student to gain admission. It's what makes the balanced list score possible. Powered by Intelligent Match that we enabled for all students, Scoir has automatically set acceptance likelihood for us, which is such a time saver. Of course, you can set Intelligent Match for individual students or entire classes at a time of your choosing. Now let's take a closer look at one of our students, Aaron, a junior just starting to build his college list. You'll notice his list already has a score. If you click on that score, it'll take you directly to his college list, where you can see the assigned acceptance likelihood for each college. Let's click on Aaron's score to open a panel that gives me a snapshot of how balanced his list is. You'll notice that colleges are grouped into 3 categories to keep things simple. We've taken the 5 possible acceptance likelihood levels and combined them into 3 buckets. Reach or far reach go in one bucket, level in another, and likely and very likely together in the third. You'll see check marks that show how many of Aaron's colleges fall into each likelihood category, which makes it really easy to see where he might need more guidance. By default, the scoring rubric is set to at least 2 colleges for reach or far reach, 3 for level, and 2 for likely and very likely. But you're not locked into this. If your high school uses a different scoring approach, you can tweak these minimums in your settings, and we'll explore how to do that shortly. Now, sometimes a student's list score might not match your school's criteria. For example, let's say Aaron is a recruited athlete and his score doesn't reflect the true health of his list. In this case, you can override Aaron's list score and add a note to explain the adjustment, keeping everything clear and well documented. As you use Intelligent Match, know that the values update to reflect changes in the student's academic profile. So if Aaron improves his grades, GPA, or test scores, the acceptance likelihoods for those schools will adjust accordingly, keeping everything up to date. Okay, so now that we've looked over Aaron's list score, let's dive in and take a closer look at one of the colleges on his list. If you're in the table view like I am, just hover over the college name and click Preview to open the college detail panel. If you're in the column view, you'll just click directly on the college tile to open the same panel. Once you're in the college detail panel, go to the Admission Intelligence section. This is where you'll find predictive chances. Predictive chances are presented in a table, and when available, we present predictive chances and the corresponding acceptance likelihood by round, whether it's early action, regular decision, or any other round. Above the table, you'll see an overall chance. Overall chances are a calculation of the individual round chances. Without a round, they're not a prediction of the student's acceptance into that college, but serve as a general classification of the college's competitiveness for that student. Most importantly, it offers some transparency in how the acceptance likelihood was calculated based on the ranges set with your school. We'll go over that in more detail shortly. Now, as Matt mentioned earlier, these predictive chances are powered by a multidimensional predictive model. The more complete Aaron's profile is, the more accurate the predictions will be. So keep in mind, we need at least a GPA or standardized test score for the model to generate predictions. But the more information we have, the sharper those predictions will get. You'll be prompted to add any missing details that can help fine-tune the predictions. And one important thing to note, predictive chances won't show up for schools with open admission policies. Also, if it's the college's first time offering a particular admission round, or if there's not enough historical data, you might not see predictions for that college either. All right, so let's say Aaron is curious about how improving his GPA or test scores might affect his chances at a certain school. Or maybe he's wondering if he should apply early decision to a school. Well, we've got a way to help with that. You can simulate changes in his GPA or test scores to see how that might impact his chances. Right below predictive chances, you'll see Simulate Profile. Click Open, and it'll show a set of sliders where you can adjust GPA and test scores. As you adjust those sliders, the predictive chances and acceptance likelihoods in the table will update in real time. Pretty cool, right? And don't worry, these changes are just for simulation and won't save to Aaron's profile. It's important to note that disabling test scores doesn't simulate applying test optional. Instead, it simply asks the model to predict Aaron's chances without factoring in a test score. If you want to revert back to the original values, just click Reset to Profile and you're good to go. And as a quick reminder, while navigating through the different pages on Scoir, be on the lookout for the Scoir AI icon. When you click in, you'll see insights into admission chances. Now let's take a quick look at Aaron's experience and his mom's to see what they see. In his account, Aaron can view his list score that I manually adjusted and the acceptance likelihoods for his schools. He can click into the score for more details, including the note I added about his grade adjustment. He can also open the college details panel to see predictive chances by round and simulate changes to his GPA or test scores. Now switching over to his mom's account, you can see that this experience is the same for parents too. Aaron's mom sees the list score, acceptance likelihoods, score details, predictive chances, and simulation tools. Plus, on search and college profile pages, both students and parents can easily spot the Scoir AI icon for quick access to predictive chances and scattergrams. Like we saw in Aaron and his mom's account, the Happy Path helps guide families through list building, giving students and parents clear visibility into data-driven insights about their acceptance chances. Now, if you're sitting there thinking, very cool, but I can't let my students see these list scores or predictive chances on their own, and the acceptance likelihood defaults break our definitions. We totally hear you and recognize that you may want to share this information with students in a more controlled manner. So, if you prefer to wait to share until you're sitting shoulder to shoulder with students, we support that too. Alright, so from the dashboard, let's hop back into settings. I'll show you how to tweak things so you can decide when and how students and parents or guardians see Scoir AI. So we've shown you what it looks like when Intelligent Match is turned on and starts assigning acceptance likelihoods to colleges on a student's list right from August of freshman year. But if that feels a little bit too early, no worries, you're in control. Just update the month and class year to start whenever makes sense for your students. Not ready for Intelligent Match just yet? Totally fine. You can turn it off by setting this to no. Scoir will roll back any automated updates, but any manual changes you made will stay put. If you change your mind later, you can easily turn it back on here or even enable it for individual students right from the list score panel. You can also assign likelihoods manually if you prefer. But just a heads up, manual values won't automatically update as your students' profiles evolve. As we dive into the settings for balanced lists and acceptance likelihood, know that I've turned Intelligent Match back on to help us see how the other settings work. For balanced lists, we showed you what it looks like when it's turned on, with the default setting of August of freshman year. But maybe that feels a little early for your students and their parents or guardians, and you'd rather hold off until, say, the beginning of junior year. Easy fix. Just update the month and class year to match your timeline. And if you're not ready for balanced lists yet, no problem at all. You can turn it off until you're ready for them to be displayed. All right, now that we've made that update, let's jump into Aaron's account and refresh. And there you go. His score is no longer visible. And the same goes for his mom. As you can see in Aaron's mom's account, she can view acceptance likelihood values before the balanced list score is available. The same goes when we switch over to Aaron's account. This happens because by default, the acceptance likelihood becomes visible as soon as it's assigned. If you'd rather hold off and share this info later when you're ready to display list scores, just set this option to no. That way, the values stay hidden until you're ready. If we refresh Aaron's account, you can see the acceptance likelihood values are no longer visible, and the same happens in his mom's account. If you're fine with students and parents seeing those values right away, just leave it set to yes. All right, let's scroll back down to the balanced list settings. You'll notice that I've turned balanced list visibility back on. So here in this next setting, you can customize the minimum requirements for the reach or far reach, level, likely or very likely categories used to calculate a student's balanced list score. The default values are 2 for reach or far reach, 3 for level, and 2 for likely or very likely. But you can adjust these numbers or even set them to 0 to better fit your school's needs. So let's say we decide to have 5 level schools instead of 3. That's easy to change here. Just remember to click Apply Changes to save your updates. And here's another thing. Our school prefers to call level schools target schools. No problem. We can just update the label in this setting to match what we like. Now let's jump over to the roster to check out the changes. Earlier off camera, I reset Aaron's adjusted grade back to the calculated one, which was a C. But now you'll see it's dropped to an F. If we check the score panel, you'll see this happen because I increased the minimum number of levels from 3 to 5. Lastly, what used to be called level is now labeled target, just as we wanted. These changes are also reflected in Aaron's account and his mom's account. It's super flexible, so you can tweak it to match how your school does things. All right, I'm back on the high school settings page and scroll down to the predictive chances and scattergram section. Let's take a look at the settings that give you more control and flexibility over predictive chances. This first setting controls the display of predictive chances and scattergrams, so they can be viewed alongside each other. While we recommend turning on when students and parents can see predictive chances and scattergrams in August of freshman year, you can change the date to meet your timeline. Right below, you have the option to choose whether predictive chances is shown to students and parents separate from scattergrams. This is useful if you want parents and students to see the scattergrams, but hold off on predictive chances for now. At the start of this walkthrough, I turned this option on and showed you how Aaron and his mom could see predictive chances from their accounts. However, if you leave this option set to no, predictive chances won't be visible to students or parents. So now that we've turned it off, let's switch over to Aaron's account and refresh. You'll see that predictive chances are no longer visible to him or to his mom. Just remember, if you turn this on and select a different month and year than the default in the setting above, it will delay the display of predictive chances until that date. Also, keep in mind that this setting may be adjusted after an evaluation period. Lastly, to better support each school's definition of reach, level, and likely, we've also added a setting that allows you to define the ranges of predictive chances to each acceptance likelihood value. While we provide default acceptance likelihood ranges, you can customize them to better align with your preferences. Your changes to this setting will be reflected on the college details panel on each student's My Colleges page. Just keep in mind that list scores may change as a result of any updates. These settings give you the power to tailor predictive chances and scattergrams to perfectly match your school's timeline and goals. Whether you want to delay access or customize how students see their chances, you're in the driver's seat. It's all about making these tools work for you and giving your students the best experience possible. So now that we've explored Scoir AI, let's jump into some questions. We rounded up a few common ones that we think you'll find helpful. Hopefully, during our training, we provided you all a clear understanding of these features and how to configure them to meet your school's needs and caseload. But to help shed more light on how schools are using Scoir based on their needs, here are just 2 examples of real-world configurations. School A has chosen the happy path and makes Scoir AI generally available to their students and families beginning freshman year, allowing the self-guiding nature of the tools to help students evaluate and build college lists. But High School B has a more hands-on approach, using Scoir AI primarily as a reference tool for counselors until revealing predictive chances during the application season for seniors to inform final application plans. No matter the approach, these tools are here to foster informed conversations and help guide decision-making. You have full control, from setting balanced list requirements to deciding when to roll out features like college list scores, intelligent match, or predictive chances. You can customize who gets access, when, and for which class years, ensuring they align seamlessly with your school's needs and counseling practices. Whether you choose to empower your families with these insights and list-building tools or leverage Scoir AI as a reference tool for your counseling team to guide your consulting, we hope you find them valuable and trustworthy enhancements to your counseling practice. Counselors can decide when it's time to focus on building an application list, at which point the student's list score will be calculated based on those schools in applying and applied states within my colleges. Scoir calculates predictive chances using machine learning models based on de-identified historical application records. These models analyze student details and compare outcomes for similar students at similar schools, generating personalized predictions for each college's application rounds. To ensure privacy, all personally identifiable information is removed before the data is processed. Scoir AI is built on millions of validated de-identified application outcomes. Every model is rigorously tested to ensure it meets our quality standards, and if it doesn't, we simply don't publish it. Yes, the models account for high school specific trends and performance, using your school's past outcomes as a key factor, so it's important to ensure your school's outcomes are recorded in Scoir. Scoir's models use a broad approach that goes beyond academic factors like GPA and test scores. The models also take into account characteristics such as first-generation status, geographic location, race and ethnicity, sex, and high school profile, ensuring a more comprehensive prediction. Yes, Scoir considers the student's and college's location, including in-state and out-of-state admission trends. These trends are not specifically programmed into the model, but are a result of analyzing historical outcomes that include the applicant's state. This approach allows the model to naturally reflect location-based patterns in admissions without relying on preset rules. As Matt mentioned earlier, the years of data included in predictions vary by model. With our latest enhancements, each model identifies and incorporates only the years of historical data that are most predictive of the last complete application cycle. We continue to refine this process to align predictions with recent admission trends, introducing adjustments to further improve accuracy over the coming months. The Scoir AI 2.0 enhancements are scheduled to launch during the week of January 20th. Your current settings will remain as configured, and new settings will use the default options. We offer comprehensive resources and dedicated support to help schools confidently use Scoir AI. From detailed help articles and user guides to ongoing assistance, we're committed to helping you unlock the platform's full potential. Be sure to check out our playbook for additional tips and best practices. And that's a wrap. Thanks so much to everyone who joined live or is watching the replay. We hope this session gave you practical tips and a deeper understanding of how Scoir AI can support you and your students. We're sticking around to answer your questions, and we're dropping a feedback form so you can tell us your thoughts on what we shared during the event and how you feel about the direction we're taking Scoir. We're wishing you an amazing rest of the school year and can't wait to connect with you again soon.